Well, here's the thing. I used it on my penis as well. Turns out my penis was just a fungus.
Welcome back to Podcast Hero. This episode is one of those things where is only very tangentially related to Protest the Hero.
By name, you could say that it's related.
Sure. No, but I mean like the topic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're heroes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, true. Well, are they?
No.
So,
but maybe that's the point of the band, that all of your heroes and idols are false.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. So we're talking about the TV show Heroes.
That's right. With Claire Danes.
Yep.
Jared Leto.
And, and you got to
Stephen Fry.
Save the cheerleader, save your apartment or something.
That's right.
Jeff
Save the cheerleader, save the world. You know they did more than one season of that show?
Yeah. All the seasons after it are terrible.
That's correct.
The first season is amazing. But I feel like every time a show's like, I know, let's introduce a carnival, it's over. It's like jumping the shark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No, we're talking about the show Invincible today. Just one episode, though. Just the first episode. Yeah, your audio's gone. Yeah. Just totally gone. No, it's not back.
I know.
Oh, no, it's not. What?
I know why.
Why? What happened?
So Luke was messaging me.
Yeah.
And
did it start to do a voice recording?
But no, just when I fucking clicked away to his message, Logic reinitiated for some reason, and it took over control of the microphone.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Really good luck.
So we're going to talk about episode 1 of Invincible. But first, we're going to introduce our sponsors, which are Corn Bot. It's not Corn Man.
No.
The guy who was here on the last episode, he has nothing to do with it.
It's true.
It's a robot that is our sponsor. They have similar names.
The robot that he created.
Did he really?
I feel like a lot of people, like, you know how people call Frankenstein's monster Frankenstein?
Yeah, it's not.
It's the same thing, right? Frankenstein's monster is not called Frankenstein. Right? Cornbot has nothing to do with the Corn Man.
Right. I honestly think it might be the other way around. I think the Cornbot might have made the Corn Man to infiltrate humanity.
You think that Frankenstein's monster was actually man all along?
Yep. Yeah.
Or maybe the Industrial Revolution? Is that
what the allegory is?
I don't remember.
It's also brought to you by absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've talked about this yet. This is superhero related.
It is superhero related.
But I don't think they've done this on their show yet.
Well, they are currently focused on the Marvel Universe, and it is so vast that it is all no good. It is so vast that it would be very difficult for them to get through.
All no good.
I think the concept behind the podcast is they are going to run the gamut. And do a variety of different topics discussing what's the best, but they started with the Marvel Universe, and that is how they will probably end, because the Marvel Universe is dead. No end in sight.
Yeah.
I mean, until it stops making money, which, please, listeners, stop giving your money to Marvel and their garbage creations. Until it stops making money, it won't stop making movies. And if it never stops making movies or bullshit, then Simply the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress, will not be able to move on to different topics, such as the one we are discussing today, Invincible.
But, so hang on, because I saw, this is how bad I am at stuff. I saw a trailer for a new Marvel show. Now, I haven't watched a Marvel show in a long time, or a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But there's this one called Thunderbolts. And like, it looked kind of cool. And I was like, oh, the Thunderbolts. All right. And then because I couldn't remember the name of it, I looked it up and it says, this show is projected to flop worse than anything they've done in Marvel. And it's like, great.
You know what?
Like, this thing looks cool.
Everything that people hate,
yeah,
I love.
Yeah.
So I saw a show recently that like I was advertised it. It starred Catherine Hahn, who I love. Like she is, ever since Step Brothers, I've always been like, I love this woman. She's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Whatever. But she was like a witch, and it was like witchy as hell. It's called Agatha Always. And I was like, okay, I'll watch that.
That's a Marvel show.
It's a Marvel show. I watched it, and like, I don't know, people were like fucking shitting all over, going like, I don't know. It's not that bad in relation to like all the other Marvel garbage I've seen.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking watchable. Pretty tolerable.
Yeah.
I liked it. And then I even went back and watched fucking the one before it because it made sense. What was that one called?
Oh, it's the one with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Mary-Kate and Ashley in the Marvel Universe.
Yep. And they
WandaVision.
Yep.
And
I actually really liked WandaVision.
I enjoyed
thought
that
was
as
a
well.
fun concept.
I enjoyed that as well because it's not fucking stupid ass superheroes. Captain America can fucking kiss my butthole. I never want to see another Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man. Like they're so played out. They're so dumb. All these movies are so fucking bad. Stop it, you guys. Stop it.
Who we don't want to stop it
is simply the best podcast.
It's absolutely the best podcast.
Simply the best.
Simply the best.
Better than all the rest. A work in progress.
Is our patrons. We don't want you to stop supporting our podcast. And here they are. Absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress, right at the top of the list. Ashwin, Brabos Backwood, Bum Cavity _
Bum Cavity, a.k.a.
Bum Cavity.
Butthole?
Which is the name of the next one, Butthole, followed by Butthole, Julia Hightops, Rob the Anti-Human, Rody Loves My Dink, The Sentient Fart, and The Butthole Rat launched their first episode of their new podcast called Pro Fart the Rat Cast.
I would listen to that.
It goes on to say you can, I think, help, but it ends.
Yeah, okay.
It ran out of space. Fat Brown Kid, what happened to Rose M. Fields from Omaha? No more stolen sisters. I don't know what that is a reference to.
Stolen sisters, I believe that is a reference to missing and murdered Indigenous women. I think that is a quite serious username, and it's someone trying to draw attention to missing and murdered Indigenous women. Okay. I believe that. I think.
All right, I'm all for it. I should look it up. Zach, AE common thread, a perfectly smooth scrotum. Dave, the film guy, Economist, Dimitri, Tim Pod, the Picklecast, Zach, Fire Fee, Foolish Bale. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't awkward as fuck. Mitch, Progtoff, Spitgoth, Yuri, Aaron MFJ, Allie. All right, I'm just Source the Odd again.
Okay.
Benjamin.
But they're not.
It's not?
No, because it says, okay, I'm just Source the Odd again. There's much more than just not. Source the Odd.
It's all right, I'm just Source the Odd again. Yeah. Bud the Crud from the Bright Red Mud, Butthole, but Hool. Come to think of it, I think red pandas are dumb. Dale Earnshart. Jake, Jeffrey, Yo, Josh, Cage Pandas, Mason, Michael, Peggy Thrill, Roscoe, Scooty Chimkin Nuggy, Sebastodon, Sorry I've Been Busy, Taylor, TBJ, The Final Dan, Thomas, Two Buds in Holes. Yeah.
Us buds.
Viva
Our houses are
Hate.
holes.
Yes, I'd be a Newfoundlander by and Zane. So those are our patrons. Thank you, patrons. We support you we appreciate your support very much. We support you very much, patrons, in your support of us. Protest the Hero news.
Protest the Hero news. You know what? Like, there isn't really any. We're getting ready to go on this tour.
Yeah.
Truk is going to have to hold down the fort at home, getting the album ready.
Yeah.
I did want to say your episode last week was wonderful.
Thank you.
People at home probably don't know, and it's another fucking business, but unfortunately we lost our dog. We had to put her down. She was fucking old. It was super sad. That's why I wasn't there, and that's why I really appreciated what you did with that episode. It made me feel good about A Life Embossed.
It's a good song.
There was some funny stuff in it as well. Like, Cornman said something so funny in response to Guitar Horse.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, but it was something like, never seen a dog walk into a school and like...
Yes.
I mean, it's not funny, but it was apt.
Yes.
Regardless.
Yes. I really liked when Guitar Horse said, I think dogs owe us one. Right, I thought that was...
Yeah, they had an excellent repartee.
Yeah, it was good.
But so, you also listened to an instrumental song called Two Porter with Love, and you were wondering if there was any lyrics written for it.
Correct.
Now, I was like, I did write lyrics for that.
And they all said, these are terrible, get out of here?
No, but then I went back and found it, and found the original Logic session, and it wasn't Two Porter with Love, it was Sans Fromage. So there's another instrumental song out there, but the song was about the Alaskan gold rush, right? So it's weird because it's like scurrilous era, I think, and it like sort of would foreshadow palimpsest.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the very first person to find gold, who the song is about, because it's also about mistreatment of indigenous people, which is a pretty common theme in our music. And I'm going to use what this person was referred to as, and I'm uncertain if it is a slur of any kind. So please give me some grace. The man who found the first gold was named Skookum Jim.
Okay.
I think the first word is potentially bad. I don't know, but like it's basically he found somebody who was indigenous, and they were like, "No, give me the fucking gold. You didn't find shit. Like nobody would believe you found anything." But that is also, I think that was like my unconscious mind naming Spookum Fritz. And it's why I've always felt like, kind of like, why does it feel like Spookum Fritz is like a little slurry or something like that? And
I like it.
There's a wild journey that happened in my mind, and then I found that song, and it's like done. It's weird and not amazing, but it was like done. I don't know why I didn't track vocals to it. I messaged Truk and Tim, and I was like, "Yo, remember this fucking shit?" And Truk was like, "Get back to work. Stop doing this.
Stop doing this."
I was like, "Yo, I swear I am working." I just fucking. He wasn't that. It wasn't.
He wasn't that thrilled.
Like that, but he was just like, "Yo, instead of focusing on this, like maybe we continue." I go, "No, yeah, no, I
am." New music. Have you heard any new music that you like?
So Turnstile have a new song out.
Yeah.
They've dropped the first new song from their new thing. It's not exactly a departure. It's somehow a little more shimmery, a little more shoegazy. It's nice sort of background. I hope that they have a couple snarlers on this new record. I hope it's really. I'm not speaking very clearly because I want to talk about Scowl. That whole record came out, and I've changed my mind.
You don't like it?
I dislike it strongly.
Oh no.
It is so one note and lifeless. Like this is just my opinion. I'm not saying these things as facts. I love melodies. I am totally cool with a band fucking breaking from screaming. The melodies are just like so one note. It's a really boring listen to. There's no intensity to the vocal performance whatsoever. I saw people on a hardcore subreddit being like, they're just like Paramore now. It's like, no, they're fucking not. Like, I know people just say that because like, oh, there's a woman,
female vocalist.
But like, if this was an attempt to be Paramore in any way, it's a huge miss because the songwriting just isn't there. I'm like, very difficult. Like I tried my best to just like push it all aside and be like, I'm gonna like this, and
try and listen to it for what it is, not what.
And like I'm trying to force myself to like it, and I think on top of the fact that like I listened to it once through in my truck and was like, oh, this is boring as fuck. These melodies like are all the same and they do nothing. There is no intensity in the vocal whatsoever. I feel like I'm eviscerating this and I don't want to because like I really like Scowl. But then that new Turnstile song came out and I was like, it's simple. It's not amazing. But I feel like this is the kind of energy that they sort of went for, like with the simplicity of the vocals. And it's just like, they missed. In my opinion, they missed.
I will be very interested to see what the next record sounds like.
Yeah.
Because just like in my very limited understanding of Scowl's sort of history, is like this was a sort of like the first records that had a lot of screaming, like heavy vocals, was because their vocalist didn't know how to do vocals any other way at that time. Like was just learning how to be a vocalist.
I would assume because it was just never the intention.
And then I think with this record, this is like, oh, I think I've learned how to sing, and now I want to try that.
Yeah, and I think that's fair.
And I wonder, like, it's what the next record is going to be like.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. It's like, okay, I understand this thing that I did first. I understand this thing that I did next. What is the next progression there? And I think probably that progression is like moving from simpler melodies to more complex melodies. And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't know. I'd be very interested to see what happens.
And like, I do agree with you. I think that it's like, maybe it is a matter of inexperience.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Both singing and with composing melodies. I have heard in several interviews that they've said that they wanted to try their hand at more traditional punk. I don't really think it's that either.
Well,
it feels extremely like listless pop with like a little bit of like a lip curl to me.
Yeah, but I think that's like, if you look at people in that age group, when they go, I want to play more traditional punk, like their models of what traditional punk is like Paramore and Blink-182 and you know what I mean?
I've seen some interviews with them and I really do think that as far as like punk stuff goes, like they have really good heads on their shoulders. Like they're referencing like adolescence and stuff like that. And one of the dudes fucking, like, they were asked by like Pitchfork what their favorite records are, and one of the dudes said Reconstruction Site by the Weakerthans, and then did an incredible job of describing what is so unique about John Kay's lyricism. Like did a really, really fantastic job. And I thought that, like, I really like Scowl. I like what they're talking about. I like what they're standing for, and I just like wish that the melodies on this record moved me in any way. And maybe it's just like, I think it's more likely than not that the melodies just aren't for me. That, you know, like, they're designed for an audience that is not a fucking 40-year-old man that liked the earlier stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
they played Colbert last night. I was really surprised going through the comments that, like, everybody really, really liked it, because I didn't think it was very good. And maybe I'm just like, you know what, my dog died. Maybe I'm fucking like bummed on everything, and like a thing not going the way that I love. Yeah, like a band that I really like, just like sort of letting me down a little bit seems like a bigger deal than it is.
Well, I'm going to listen to the whole thing and go back and watch the Colbert performance. And then next week I'm going to talk about how wrong you are, probably.
And that's totally fair. And it should be. It deserves to be debated. I will say that falsetto singing in a live setting is much different than a studio, and it was all over the place on Colbert. Like, it sounded wild, but it's difficult. It's a difficult fucking thing to control. It's a lot easier to lose control of the pitch of falsetto than your main register, but it was out of control. It was completely out of control. And I hope that, I don't know why I'm saying this publicly. I'm just bummed. I don't want to fucking.
You could say it, but you're allowed. You're allowed to have an opinion about things.
Yeah, but it's somebody else's art. I shouldn't be so fucking critical of it. It's mean. And I don't want to be mean.
I don't feel like it's mean. You weren't being mean about it.
I'm just bummed.
You weren't telling them.
What new music have you heard, Fritzy?
Nothing.
None?
No, I spent the week listening to like a lot of post rock while playing Minecraft. So that's yeah.
You're gonna have to give me a tutorial on Minecraft so I can teach my son.
It's very fun.
I've been trying to figure out how to make a fucking crafting table for 2 years.
In Minecraft?
Yeah.
It's very easy. I'll help you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So our topic today, and I will warn listeners right now, there are spoilers ahead. We are going to 100% spoil the very first episode of this show called Invincible. Now, mind you, it came out like 4 years ago. So I don't feel bad about spoiling a 4-year-old episode of a show.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah. So, Invincible. This is the brainchild of Robert Kirkman, who is famous for creating The Walking Dead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he is one of the like 5 executives at Image Comics. And so this is like, you know, sort of his thing. And it wasn't until after I watched the first episode that I went back and was like doing some research on it and went, oh, Robert Kirkman, I get it. Okay.
That makes a lot of sense, because there's a lot of Walking Dead actors that do voices in it.
Well, I had this, the Guardians of the Globe, right? The in episode 1. They're like the superhero. They're essentially
Avengers. They're
they are the Justice League.
Yeah.
Right. And there's like a 1-for-1 each one. and I have all of them down here.
Thank
but
goodness.
every single one of those characters is voiced by an actor from The Walking Dead.
Now, can you let me try and remember it from Remembery and see if I can nail them all?
Sure.
So there's War Woman.
Mm-hmm.
She is, I don't know the actual Justice League's names.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is Darkwing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Batman.
Yep.
I would say, come on, give Darkwing Duck a little fucking breathing room. You can't just take Darkwing.
Yeah. Do you have any issue that Darkwing is played by a black guy? Like,
should I? Oh, because
I don't know. Like, it just seems like, we're going to call this guy Darkwing and make him the only black dude in the group. I don't know.
No, I don't take any issue with the race of any character, like in any show.
I don't take issue with his race. I take issue with the name of the character.
You think that calling him dark might be offensive?
Well, like,
and I'm not saying that it isn't.
Do you remember the movie Top Gun?
Yeah.
The only black guy in the entire show's name was Sundown.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, in the whole movie.
I didn't know the fucking Power Rangers thing.
Yeah. So it's I just always am a little like, why? Okay. Yeah. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, okay. So there's Darkwing, that's Batman. There's, I believe it's called the Martian Marauder. Is that right?
With the character in the show?
Yeah.
He's just called Martian Man.
Oh, okay. So what is the fucking Martian?
He's the Martian Manhunter.
The Martian Manhunter. That's what I was thinking. Martian Marauder.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's the fish guy. What's he called?
His name is Aquarius.
Aquarius. Oh, that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Then there's
clearly Aquaman, right?
Yeah. Which they have definitely just been like, look at how stupid Aquaman is. Let's make him even stupider.
Let's make him dumber by making him
just like a fish. Man. Yeah. Okay. There's one character.
More.
What's that? There's that green character
Yep.
that she like changes the fucking
state of matter.
State of matter, yeah. Who's that supposed to be?
Green Ghost is supposed to be Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. Yep. There's the fucking red zip or something like that.
Red Rush,
right? Obviously, fucking Flash.
Right.
How many more I got?
Just one.
Oh, his name is the Eternal. Is that
the
it?
Immortal.
Fuck!
The Immortal.
I'm bad at paying attention to stuff. Who is he supposed to be? Captain America?
Superman. He's supposed to be Superman. But they gave him Wolverine's face.
Yeah. So he's Superman, but then there is the actual guy who's like way more Superman than him.
Right. Omni-Man. Yeah.
That's like I saw the 1-for-1 thing in a lot of cases. Like it's hard to miss with like Darkwing and Batman and shit like that.
Right.
But then that did sort of confuse me. I was like, Omni-Man is Superman. So who the fuck is the Immortal?
The Immortal. Yeah. Yeah. He's supposed to be Superman.
But then it's like, if there was like one dude that was just more powerful than even Superman.
Yeah. It's Omni-Man. And I love it. They were like, what do we name a superhero who has all the superpowers? Omni-Man. Everything Man? Omni-Man.
Yeah.
So the episode starts at the White House.
Yes.
And it's two security guards at the front gate to the White House having a conversation. And you notice at the White House the entire top of the White House is covered in like laser gun turrets. And then these two security guys are having a conversation, and it's like, I came into watching the show knowing the very basics of the show, which is this is a father and son superhero dynamic. And the very first dialogue happening is about this guy, and he's talking to his coworker about this trip that he's taking with his stepson.
Mm-hmm.
after he had all of these issues with addiction and all this stuff, and their relationship was so, and I'm like, obviously this is the guy, right? He's in a security guard uniform, but this is the superhero dad, right? That we're talking about. That's what this is going to be.
And it was voiced by John Hamm.
John Hamm.
So you're like, this is a fucking main character.
Right. Main character. And it took me a long time to figure out that was not the case. So then the White House is attacked by the most generic villains that have ever been villains in an animated series. Sure. The Mauler twins. Right? This is the most generic name for a bad guy. Yeah. Or two. But I thought it was really funny that the Mauler twins, one is clearly a clone of the other.
Yeah.
And both of them were convinced that they were the original. Mm-hmm. And so like throughout this whole scene where they're battling and all this stuff, they're arguing back and forth about which one is actually the clone. And I thought that was kind of funny. So this whole thing happens at the White House, and the Guardians of the Globe arrive and mostly save the day.
That's right.
However, Omni-Man does show up and helps them out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we never hear from Steve, the security guard, again.
Yes. For the whole rest of the episode.
For the whole rest of the time.
So, they save the day, whatever, and then we shift completely to inside of a high school, right? So this is where we're going to meet essentially our hero, our protagonist of the show, a high school kid, and it goes, and immediately you're like, okay, this is very standard template superhero thing, right? It's a high school kid who's going to get his superpowers as a high school kid. I mean, like, that's essentially Spider-Man, right? Like, so it seems very...
It's going through all the tropes.
Yeah, yeah. Doing all of those things. But I thought that the dialogue and the writing, like it said, we're going to do these tropes. But then the dialogue has stuff that you would never have had in a animated series like this. Mm-hmm. So the depth of the story between Steve in front of the White House with his coworker about his stepson and all the stuff he's been through and all this very heartfelt and personal conversation you would never have seen in G.I. Joe. Right. And then we get to the scene it's like the school bully scene in the high school, and they take it to a much more modern thing, right? Like in the 80s, this would have been like picking on a nerd, right? And instead, in this one, like the bully is sexually assaulting someone, mm-hmm. right? It's way more intense. And so like I thought that was a unique twist on that sort of cliched thing, is like, whoa, okay, this is not as simple as just like big bully picking on the nerd gets superpowers, takes out the big bully. Like the bully's doing some pretty fucked up shit.
And you liked that.
I did. Especially the fucked up shit the bully was doing. I was on a team bully all the way.
I knew you were like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew you were evil.
Then we learn that our protagonist is expecting to get his superpowers, but hasn't yet. Mm-hmm. Right. The clear sort of late bloomer. When am I going to go through puberty, Dad? Right. And there's even like a flashback.
Yeah. And they're sitting on the roof and he's wearing like a weird Canada shirt for some reason.
What was that about?
I don't know. It's about something. I was definitely watching it being like, Why is he wearing like a shirt that just says Canada on it?
Yeah. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting because that conversation is like essentially the talk.
Mm-hmm.
To dad having the talk with his son.
Yeah, your dick's gonna get all hairy.
And your voice is going to crack and all these things. And you're going to be able to fly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's sort of the introduction to the show. And you finally find out that our protagonist now has his superpowers. And he's got to learn how to use them. And he learned that by throwing a bag of trash into space when he was trying to throw it in a dumpster. Right. He said, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Pretty sure, Dad. Threw a bag of trash into space."
Okay, I'm just writing that out in the script so you know what to say.
What?
So if you press the script, you'll now know what you are going to say.
Okay.
Okay, now read your script.
It says the same thing.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize the script was supposed to come before. Sorry, I'm fucking around. Just because I'm
so
bored.
Anyway,
I'm bored.
It's all right. So I'm moving. So there's a scene where the dad, Omni-Man, is trying to teach his son Mark how to fly and control himself in flight. And I thought it was something I'd never heard before, but I thought it was a great analogy, which is it's like peeing your pants on purpose.
That's true. It was interesting how he was describing like flight, and you'd never heard it really.
Yeah.
Even like when he's talking about like moving the shit around you and stuff, it's like I'd not heard a superhero thing go into the detail.
Yeah. I also thought it was hilarious when he was like, "Okay, now let's land." And he's like, "Why aren't you slowing down?"
Yeah.
The kid just smashes right into the ground. And then they get into some of the combat stuff. And the dad fucking just drills him in the chest. Like punches him in the chest. And he goes down hard. Mark goes down in a pile. And he's saying, "What? Why did you hit me so hard?" And the dad, Omni-Man, goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you so hard." And I thought this was a little bit of foreshadowing, and we'll get to some stuff at the end, that perhaps he doesn't have control over all of the stuff that he is doing. Then to make it up to him, he takes him down to the costume shop to get his superhero costume.
Oh yeah, he takes him to his friend's house that is a seamstress.
Yeah.
A seamstress for the stars.
Yeah. And the guy's name is Art. And it's played by Mark Hamill.
Is that so?
Yeah.
And make a seamstress that is
a seamster?
A seamster?
A tailor?
Tailor. I'm going to stick with seamstress.
Seamstresser?
I'm just going to say that seamstress is without gender.
Sure. Tries to sell him a off the rack costume, and then says, "You can't blame me for trying to move some product that's not selling." And then gets him his own superhero costume. The title cards, at this point, he hasn't come up with a name for himself until 37 minutes into the episode, when he first says his name, and the title cards for the episode hit right at that point.
Yeah.
37 minutes into the hour-long episode.
Now, I have seen there's a filter on TikTok that will emulate this. So anytime you say Invincible or anything like Invincible, it cuts you off and plays the title card.
Yeah. So that's the sort of running thing on this show, is the title cards don't play until the first time somebody in the episode is going to say the word Invincible.
Yeah.
Then there's some fighting. He gets into like his first sort of real battle with some bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of holds his own a little bit, but not,
He doesn't
not
exactly
great.
win.
Right.
And he's got the other trope that I like is like he's put together his first costume.
Oh yeah, his first costume. It's like,
and he's got just like a thing tied around his face, and he's in sort of sweatpants, like red and blue sweatpants.
Yeah.
It's very akin to any time you've seen Spider-Man or
like Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, which is another Robert Kirkman thing. Yeah, very, very that. But then you get to essentially, there's a pretty long montage, where essentially all the members of Guardians of the Globe are getting summoned, like they're getting paged on their alert watches.
They're all out doing different things, experiencing different journeys.
Yeah, and they all get called in, but they take a really, they take a lot of time with that.
Yeah,
where they're sort of doing some character development around these characters, leading up to it. And so this sort of montage where they're all getting called in, which in a Justice League animated series would go like, "Look, gang, it's time to go," and they all like slash cut and they're all there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this takes several minutes to develop.
They all show up, important, and you learn a lot about each one of the individual characters. And it is important, but not for that reason.
Right. So they all show up at their headquarters and going like, "Hey, why'd you call us in?" And it was like, "Me, I thought you did it." And then Omni-Man shows up. And he's not part of the Guardians of the Globe.
No.
Right? He's just an independent dude.
He's a contractor.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, and we don't know why, he starts fighting the Guardians of the Globe. So at the beginning of the episode, they're all together helping each other. And now at the end of the episode, they're fighting each other. And they're like, "Well, we got to take him down."
Yeah.
He's trying to get us.
He kills the fish, right? Like that's the first one.
The first guy he kills is the Red Rush.
Oh, okay.
And he does it as the Red Rush is like zooming around the room, punching him. He grabs him by the arm to stop him. And then he grabs his head and he essentially just squeezes his head until it explodes.
Yeah. And then at that point you're like, "Oh, it's like that."
Yeah, it's like his eyeball is like bulging out as the pressure is being. It's like it's pretty gory.
It's graphic, very graphic, but
right?
it's like it's still also very cartoony in nature, which is like kind of neat. Like it is the most graphic cartoon I've ever seen, barring some of those. No, but it is the most graphic cartoon I've ever seen. But the gore and violence is somewhat cartoony in nature. And I don't know.
It was. I just remember seeing it. I went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
This is not where I thought this was going at all. Not even that. Like, why is Omni-Man fighting them?
Mm-hmm.
But like, the tenor of the whole show changed.
Yeah.
Like,
and you realize that you have been experiencing this exposition and character development for the purpose of making this entire climax shocking as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because he fucking murders them all.
Yeah. Murders them all and in horrible fashion.
Yeah.
Right? Like he kills the War Woman by snapping her neck 180 degrees the other way, and she falls to her knees forward, but they shoot it from behind, so her face is pointing at the camera.
Yeah. It is drawn. There's no cameras.
Well,
this isn't real life, Fritzy. This never happened.
Anyway, it's incredibly violent, incredibly bloody.
Yeah.
They in fact do like those blood spatter shots.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like Here's the floor, blood.
Yeah.
Over here, blood. Like that's all you see. Like it's so that was incredibly shocking.
Yes.
And I think that they did a very good job of setting up the episode to make it incredibly shocking.
Yeah.
Right? Because the violence, like there's several big like battle scenes that stick way closer to the likes of like a G.I. Joe or Transformers type animated show where you have violence and whatnot, but it's not bloody. It's not, there's that gag on Community where they're in the episode of G.I. Joe and Joel kills a Cobra guy and they were like, wait, we can die now? Holy crap. And like, it's a whole big thing and he's got to go to court over it and all this stuff. And like, they're like, we need better health benefits. Cobra's like, we need better health benefits if we could die now. And like,
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's a great episode. And it's completely animated. They set it up that way throughout the whole episode. And then they drop this fucking anvil on your head. And it's really shocking. And it was like, oh, now I'm in.
Yeah.
Right. There's a couple of things. Interesting note. And this is my way of making this Protest the Hero adjacent.
Okay.
Okay. Mark throughout the show is reading a comic book called Seance Dog.
Right.
Seance Dog is essentially a comic book written by Robert Kirkman that exists in real life called Science Dog. However, Kirkman doesn't own the rights to the character, and therefore, even though he created it, cannot use it in his own show.
That's fucking bananas.
Right?
And yeah, I sure
very
feel
much in the same way that Podcast the Hero, hosted by Rody Walker of Protest the Hero, can't use Protest the Hero's music in his own podcast.
That's true. That might be changing soon.
God, that would be cool. Another piece of trivia about this, the music for this show.
Yeah.
Done by a guy named John Pisano.
Is that John Frusciante?
No.
No.
Not John Frusciante.
So you're telling me John Pisano is not John Frusciante?
John Frusciante. No. But this will interest you.
Yeah.
He's from he studied at the Paris Conservatory.
Yes, that's
as well as at
where
Berkeley.
You look at the stars.
Yep, and at Berkeley.
Mm-hmm. The Berkeley Observatory as well.
He worked under Jerry Goldsmith. Jerry Goldsmith did.
It's Ben Stiller's dad.
No. Jerry Goldsmith did the music for 5 of the Star Trek films.
Oh.
As well as worked for John Williams.
Okay.
Who did Star Wars.
Oh, I thought he did Jaws.
He did Jaws. John Williams, yeah. And he is from Detroit, John Pisano, and is 47 years old.
What the fuck?
He is roughly my age, from where I live, has worked for 2 huge composers, and is doing the music for this show. And what the fuck am I doing?
I think you might be posing.
What have I done with my life?
Think you might have another pseudonym, and it's John Pisano.
It's not. I wish. That would be amazing.
Well, let me tell you this about Star Trek music.
Yeah?
The original series theme song?
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, with the thingamajig.
So Gene Roddenberry had nothing to do with the composition of that song whatsoever, but he did learn that as far as royalties go, lyrics at that time were considered 50% of the royalties.
Yeah.
So he wrote some lyrics for it. Regardless whether or not they were sung, he stole 50% of the royalties from that song every time it was fucking played. Maybe not a good guy?
What was the show he made after Star Trek? Was it After Earth? Something Earth AE?
Was it him or was it his son?
I thought it was him.
I think you're talking about Rod Roddenberry made a fucking different show. It was bad. Or maybe it was good. I don't know. I never saw it. I'm being too critical, and I apologize to Scowl and Rod Roddenberry.
Rod. Could you imagine growing up Rod Roddenberry?
I can.
You can?
I'm pretty much halfway there.
I mean, but like your last name isn't
it?
It's not. That would be like being called Wally Walker.
That would be like calling me Walkie Walker.
Yeah. Walkie.
Walk Walker.
Walk Walker. Texas Crossing Guard.
It's you, host of Podcast The Hero, No Fritzy and Walk Walker.
Right now, it actually says that I am both of us.
Yeah. I signed in through the app, and it won't let me make my name Queef on a leash anymore.
It doesn't even show up in the episode.
But I want the people to know that my name usually here, just for Fritzy and I, says Queef on a leash.
What else? Any other things about that episode that you really liked, enjoyed? I thought the animation style was awesome.
Yeah, I like the animation because
very
it's like
90s
nostalgic. Yeah, it's not like amazing, right? There's times
it's
where
on
like, you're looking at
purpose.
it and it's like, yeah. I feel like the new Batman tried to do that with the like animated series, but it was like kind of unwatchable because it was too clean.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I think, like the fact that it did stick to the tropes so hard throughout the episode are another reason why the unveiling of the murder of the Justice League essentially was like another reason why it was so shocking, because like I was kind of watching it being like, okay, well, I guess I'm watching a fucking show about some like kid get superpowers, like and then all of a sudden they're getting like torn to pieces, and I'm going like, why is he doing this?
Right?
And you have my attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, like, watching this, I was like, why? Rody loves this. What about, like, seems very, like, this is like an episode of Transformers.
Yeah.
It's not, this isn't anything super special. Like, their costumes aren't, like, super cool. They don't, like, have anything, like, there's nothing new here. It's very retro. I like the nostalgia vibe to it. It reminds me of a lot of shows I watched as a kid, but other than that, and then it went berserk. Yeah. I have a game for you.
Oh, quelle surprise!
This is a game about Saturday morning cartoons.
Okay, from like the 50s when you were a kid.
Yep.
I only know that Fred Flintstone smoked Winstons.
He did?
Oh yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know he smoked. I thought they
used to fucking advertise Winston like fucking halfway through the episode. So you can look at, there's like a YouTube video that has the Winston ad, and it's like midway through the episode. It is rife with sexism, and like it starts out and he's like, "Barn, I hate sitting in this front yard watching these women do all this work because they're like mowing the lawn and shit like that." And he's like, "Well, Fred, why don't we go back and have a cigarette?" And then they go and they just smoke cigarettes. And like at the end, he's just like, "Winston makes a cigarette good," or whatever the fuck the stupid catchphrase is.
Okay, so this is mostly multiple choice.
Okay.
Which is considered the first Saturday morning cartoon? Is it the Smurfs, Garfield, Bugs Bunny, or Huckleberry Hound?
So my thinking is that it's going to be in the Hanna-Barbera era.
Okay.
But Bugs Bunny has some fucking date to it. I'm going to say Huckleberry Hound because that's my first instinct is like it's a Hanna-Barbera one. But it could be Bugs Bunny.
It's Huckleberry Hound. The Huckleberry Hound show is considered the first Saturday morning cartoon.
Hell yeah. It sucked.
Why was Gargamel trying to catch the Smurfs?
Was he trying to eat them?
Well, here are your choices. He wanted them for food for himself. He wanted them for food for Azrael, his cat.
His cat, yeah.
He just hated them. Or to make a potion.
Ooh, to make a potion. Final answer.
Yeah, it was to make a potion.
Yeah.
He would mush up the Smurfs to make a potion that would turn ordinary objects into gold.
Now, I never watched the Smurfs. Like, I remember, like, begrudgingly seeing it sometimes and just being like, fuck off.
Do you know, like, the Smurfs were so popular, there was, like, other animation houses or whatever tried to, like, make their own versions? Like, do you remember the Snorks?
Are they, like... That sounds familiar.
They were underwater Smurfs, essentially. They had little snorkels that came off the top of their heads.
That sounds... I feel like I remember that. Now, this might be a Canadian thing, but we had the Sun Tots.
The Sun Tots?
Yeah.
Never heard of a Sun Tot.
Yeah, okay. I remember
the gummy bears.
Now, the Sun Tots, they were like kind of water creatures, and they fought these beings called the Smoggies. The Smoggies. And their theme song went, Sun Tots, la-di-da-da-da-da, Sun Tots, la-di-da-da-da-da. And in the summertime at the cottage, my television only got one channel, and on Saturday mornings, it was just Sun Tots and the Smoggies over and over again, and it was like infuriating. Did I watch that?
In 2008, Fox, the Fox television network,
Of course,
decided to replace their Saturday morning cartoons with what? A, cooking shows. B, educational programming for kids.
that would be mean.
C, infomercials. Or D, the news.
The news.
It was infomercials.
Yeah, had to be one or the other.
And it was a big uproar.
Yeah, because Fox Kids was like amazing.
Yeah. So
it's the X-Men and shit.
One of the reasons that Saturday morning cartoons existed is there was a law in the United States that in exchange for unfettered access to the airwaves, right? The networks having access to the airwaves to broadcast their television.
Yeah.
They had to make some concessions. One of which is the equal time rule, which says like candidates for office get equal time on your air, like so that you're presenting both sides. To be
fucking nonpartisan,
right? And the other one had to provide a certain amount of educational programming every week. And the way that they got away with this, which is wild, because these cartoons essentially are just half an hour long ads for toys.
Yes. Thank you, Ronald Reagan, for deregulating advertising in children's television.
Yeah. They would throw a thing on like at the end of G.I. Joe. What is it? Like
now you know, or whatever.
Don't stick your finger in the electric socket. Thanks. Go Joe.
Yeah, now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
And which turned into like one of the earliest memes on the internet.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for it.
So there was kind of a big uproar because Fox had eliminated a bunch of what had been considered educational programming for kids by replacing them with infomercials. Do you remember the name of Scooby-Doo's van?
The Mystery Wagon. Mystery Machine.
Good. Got it. Okay. And finally...
It says it on the side.
Yeah. Which Saturday morning cartoon series won 4 straight Emmys. A Saturday morning cartoon series won 4 Emmys in a row.
Sesame Street.
That's not a cartoon.
Did you say cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was asleep.
I'll give you the choices.
Yeah.
Kid Van.
Never heard of that once.
Okay. Garfield and Friends.
I did love that.
Goof Troop.
They call me the Goof Troop. A Scooby Bop Bop a Doo Bop.
Yep. Or Muppet Babies.
Oh, Muppet Babies. Is it Garfield and Friends? Or is it that first one that I never heard of?
It was not Garfield and Friends. It was, in fact, Muppet Babies.
What?
Muppet Babies won 4 Emmys in a row.
I loved Muppet Babies.
I did too, but Garfield and Friends was way better because U.S. Acres was the shit.
What's U.S. Acres?
U.S. Acres was the second segment on Garfield and Friends.
Yeah. With on the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the one egg, like the chicken egg that just had the feet coming out because it was too scared to hatch.
I forgot about that part of the
U.S.
show.
Acres ruled.
You know, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Tiny Toons Adventures was really good as well.
Yeah, Tiny Toons.
I could talk about Saturday morning cartoons for the rest of my life.
I think probably the best. I don't know if it was it ever on a Saturday morning. Was Animaniacs
was great,
insanely good.
Yeah, I mean, for you that was probably really good because you'd like get some of the political jokes because you were that much older. But for me, like I was kind of sitting there being like, "This is silly, ha 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 ha, Pinky and the Brain, the Pinky."
Well, that's the whole right. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
is that it appeals across a broad range. Like when a show is really well done, it should mean that the parents don't have a hard time watching it with their kid.
Yeah.
Right.
As Tootie put on SpongeBob, I'm fucking happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. This show is hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome. The other one I love is Bluey.
Yeah, Bluey's funny.
I could watch Bluey all day. It's fucking amazing.
I think a very important thing to a children's show is having a fucking banging theme song and soundtrack.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now you have to guess what show I'm doing.
Okay.
Boo, 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 boo. Do, do, do. Fuck, I don't know how it goes from there.
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah. Picture it's dark.
Is that like a Batman?
Yeah, it's Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
That's the only part I can remember from them. But it had like
you didn't grow up watching the Batman with what's his face?
Adam West?
Yeah.
I mean I did, but like obviously it was in syndication.
Yeah. But you watched those as a kid?
Yeah. Yeah. I watched that, like Three Stooges and stuff like that.
Yeah. I watched a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, you watched it in syndications too. You weren't a kid in the fucking 60s.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't even know if they were showing that stuff at the time when you were born in 2006.
There was a show in Canada called Raccoons. It might have been in the States too, but I feel like it was distinctly CBC in nature.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that?
I don't think so.
Like that was a show akin to maybe Babar. Did you watch Babar?
Okay. I knew of Babar. I didn't like Babar because
nobody
had a stupid name.
Wow. Raccoons was very similar, that it was like you would only really see it if you were homesick from school. And so like you would see it on a day where you weren't, and it would make you feel kind of sick and weird or something like that.
Yeah, I know those shows. That's how
guy's name was Sly Sneer.
Sly Sneer?
Yeah. Sly Sneer, I think. Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was a weird, like anybody who's listening to this that like thinks of the Raccoons is going to have a weird feeling in their belly. It's just like, it's one of those Babar shows that it was just like, oh, like nothing's on. Like I went through all the channels that I know, the like 3 or 4 that play the things I like. And like the best thing on right now is Raccoons. And you watch it and just go, what even is the pink guy?
What even is the pink guy?
I think he's an anteater.
Oh my God. I want to see this show so bad now.
Yeah.
I have a gift for you.
I have a gift for you. I made my gift a long time ago, but
Me too.
I'm not going to send it to you. I'm just
I
going to...
have seen this show.
Raccoons?
Yes. Because I remember that dude with they got the nose thing. That
Yeah. They all kind of have a nose thing, but...
I do remember that show. I liked that show.
Yeah?
It didn't make me feel like Babar.
Does it feel a bit like weird in your belly right now?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because their nose shape is really weirding me out.
Yeah. And
I don't like it.
Do you see Sly Sneer?
Yes.
Because he's like the pink guy as well, but his nephew or whatever is nice.
Oh, Cyril Sneer. Cedric Sneer and Cyril Sneer. I do remember that show. That's for you.
Did you send something to me?
Yeah, but I'll share it also. I just have to open it up.
I lost my phone. Oh, it's an image. Beautiful. Porkcast the hero. Grody Walker, a blonde, of course.
Mm-hmm.
An old fartsy. These are really nice. Do you want me to hold it up for the whole class to see?
I think I can share it. Share. There you go.
Oh, I have a little garbage in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very dirty.
Mm-hmm. Because you're Grody Walker.
That's true. You've used my old glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And my blonde hair, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Excellent. I don't know that I've seen you use so much shadow. Your light source is unclear, though.
Yep.
Because, you know what, I'm unfamiliar with light source as well.
I'm not very good at light sources and shadows. So
sometimes it's best
especially
to just...
the hat bill shadow should definitely be different.
Yeah, it should face one way or the other. You just have to decide which way the light source is coming from, and then...
And also the farts.
Yeah.
The shadow on the farts.
They're on opposite sides.
And it's just because I just took the same fart and flipped it.
Ah.
So it just...
Well, I love it. It's really
feel like
good.
drawing a second fart.
Did you use like some kind of Adobe thing?
Yeah.
Did you see that Adobe recently started a Blue Sky account?
No, I don't know what that is.
Blue Sky is like a Twitter alternative for people that aren't fucking racist assholes.
Yeah.
But so Blue Sky, Adobe started a Blue Sky account. They made one tweet and got bullied off Blue Sky. It was just like, everyone was like, we fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Like, you're the worst.
Yeah. Adobe is pretty much the worst.
So here's my gift to you.
Okay.
Little Spookum Fritz was a gentle, friendly ghoul. He liked to haunt the playground when he finished haunting school. I realized I forgot the word haunting. He liked to do his haunted homework, both his letters and his math. And after dinner every night, he had a spooky bath. His mummy's ghost then tucks him in and reads a scary story. She reads him tales of zombie fun. It's always rather gory. She whispers pleasant nightmares as he's drifting off to sleep, to dream of bugs and worms and things that slither, crawl, and creep. He wakes up every morning and he can't wait to go haunt school, excited for another day as a kind and gentle ghoul. That's it. I made it a long time ago and I was going to publish it.
You need to publish that.
It's all the dimensions need to be a specific way. I ran into so much trouble trying to publish it. I thought it would be so funny to like have it published on fucking Amazon or something like that. But then I
You
got to
100% should do that.
But now I hated Amazon before, but I really hate them now.
Yeah.
Which is funny to say.
But I think there are probably other publishing avenues.
Who's going to buy that?
I feel like people would buy that.
Let me say this. Okay, and talks of the evil that is Amazon. If you're going to watch Invincible based on our discussion of it tonight, steal it.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I'm not going to say steal it. Take that back. I take it back. Don't steal it.
I wasn't saying... It wasn't me saying that.
No. I feel like there's got to be a way to like... There's got to be some kind of happy medium because it is content that is worthy of your viewership and like they are worthy of your money, but Amazon is not. Right? Like, don't get a fucking Prime subscription.
Here's the way to do it. Here's how you do it. The perfect way. Buy one of those jailbroken Fire Sticks.
Okay.
Right? They cost like... I don't know how much, but like to buy a Fire Stick from Amazon costs like $30. So Amazon gets their $30 and then you get their product that is jailbroken that has every fucking channel on it in the whole world. And you can watch every show and every live sporting event and all that shit.
Well, you're talking about an IPTV.
Well, it's I don't know. It's like that. Yeah. But they sell them on the dark web, I guess. It's
not the dark web. You can get them on like, you can just learn to do it yourself and then you pay someone for access to it.
Yeah.
It's IPTV.
A friend has one. He pays $50 a year.
Yeah.
And he's like, I watch everything.
Yeah. But how does that benefit the creators of Invincible? You know what I mean? Like they deserve.
That's true.
That's what I mean. Is like there's got to be some way to benefit the creators of the show while not benefiting Amazon. I'm not sure what it is. I would be open to hearing what people think in the comments if they want to comment.
That's why, I feel like direct support models for creators is the future.
It's the spray to go.
Yep. So anyway, Amazon can eat shit and go fuck itself.
That's true. And so can our listeners.
Yeah, everyone listening.
And so can the creators.
What happened? What just happened? This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is he she?